4 winners and 2 losers from the first night of the Democratic National Convention. Few thought the open booing of Ted Cruz during the Republican National Convention was a sign that the event had gotten way out of hand. Then the first day of the Democrats' convention was something else entirely. During speech after speech, even by Sanders supporters like former NAACP head Vangelis or Representative Raul Grijalva Diaz, Bernie Sanders fans booed and occasionally interrupted with chants of, "Lock her up," or "No TPP." Despite repeated attempts by Sanders himself to calm the insurrection, it kept going. But by the end of the night, the insurrection had calmed down. Pro-Bernie speakers, and Bernie himself, used their time slots to acknowledge Bernie dead-enders' grievances and make a case for Clinton aimed directly at them. And from the look of things, it worked. Here's who left opening night better off, and who took some hits. Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton are the only 2 people living on Earth to have the experience of putting a career on hold to become First Lady of the United States. Rosalind Carter and Barbara Bush were primarily homemakers before moving to the White House. Laura Bush had quit her job as a librarian long before George W. Bush made it to Washington. But Clinton gave up her job as a partner at a prestigious Little Rock law firm. Obama gave up a senior executive position at the University of Chicago Hospitals. When Clinton was at the stage that Obama has now reached, she was running for Senate in New York, as it was her turn to forge her own political career once Bill's was finished. Obama has shown little interest in following that path. She declined to challenge Senator Mark Kirk, Ariel, this year and has over and over again expressed reluctance about her husband's decision to go into politics in the first place, not exactly a sign of an insatiable political animal who missed this life terribly. But for all their differences, she shares with Clinton a conviction that the position of First Lady, with its focus on domesticity and family, needn't be limiting, and can be a powerful platform to express the administration and party's values and ideals. And you can see that theme woven throughout her convention speech. Clinton, she said again and again, will do right by our families. She will do right by our children. The cynical reading is that Obama is accepting the limited understanding of First Lady as confined to commenting on and thinking about traditional women's and parenting issues. But something more substantial is going on here. Clinton has spent much of her life, from her time at the Children's Defense Fund to It Takes a Village to her current push on paid parental leave, demanding that women's issues be taken seriously, that concerns of parenting and children and motherhood are as important as anything else on the minds of presidents. Obama hit that message again and again and again, with feeling and conviction. I trust Hillary to lead this country because I have seen her lifelong devotion to our nation's children. Not just her own daughter, who she has raised to perfection. But every child who needs a champion. Kids who take the long way to school to avoid the gangs. Kids who wonder how they will ever afford college. Kids whose parents don't speak a word of English but dream of a better life. Who look to us to dream of what they can be. Hillary has spent decades doing the relentless work to actually make a difference in their lives. Hillary understands that the president is about one thing and one thing only, it is about leaving something better for our kids. Because of Hillary Clinton, my daughters and all of our sons and daughters now take for granted that a woman can be President of the United States. And after a primary race in which the failings of the first Clinton administration on mass incarceration and welfare and other racially charged issues came to the fore repeatedly, Obama explicitly tied the historic nature of Clinton's campaign to the historic progress represented by her and her husband's move to the White House. Leaders like Hillary Clinton who have the guts and the grace to keep coming back and putting those cracks in the highest and hardest glass ceiling until they finally break through, lifting all of us along with her. That is the story of this country. The story that has brought me to the stage tonight. The story of generations of people who felt the lash of bondage, the shame of servitude, the sting of segregation, who kept on striving and hoping and doing what needed to be done so that today, I wake up every morning in a house that was built by slaves. And I watch my daughters, two beautiful, intelligent black young women, play with the dog on the White House lawn. Here, too, Obama is recentering her role as First Lady and mother as a role of consequence. That Malia and Sasha are playing and living and thriving in rooms built using slave labor, by slave owners who never dreamed that they were building a home for the descendants of the men they kept as property, is itself a political act, a political accomplishment, a real step forward for the country.